So, have you ever wanted to change something in your life? Maybe you have some limiting beliefs around a situation in your life to do with your finances or your relationships, or you have some bad habits and behaviors that you want to change, but as much as you try to change things practically, you cannot seem to make it happen, and you keep reverting back to the old self. Changing ourselves can be really hard if we only try to do it in one particular way without understanding what's really happening under the surface inside. So, for example, most people, they get determined to change something in their lives. Let's say they want to get in shape. So they'll go out, they'll buy the exercise bike, they'll set it up in their home, and they'll try to commit to exercising every day, right? But after a couple of weeks or whatever, they will inevitably quit and end up right where they started again, except now they spent $5,000 on a Peloton. So there's a crucial missing piece that most people do not focus on, and that's what I want to talk about in this video. So the first step to changing yourself practically, actually making a change in yourself, is developing self-awareness, right? Self-awareness is being able to notice yourself, see yourself from an outside perspective, notice how you're thinking about things, how you're feeling at any given moment, noticing your behavior when you're acting unconsciously. Unconsciously just means you're not aware of what you're doing. You're just running through the motions. You're going through the motions. You know, most of the time we are living unconsciously. We are living the same day that we lived yesterday because we are thinking and feeling and behaving in the same ways that we always do. So until we can develop the ability to see ourselves and have some self-awareness and to notice our unconscious patterns, it's going to be really hard to change yourself. So developing self-awareness is something anybody can do, and it just requires taking your attention away from all the external stuff that we're so used to looking at and that draws our attention in, right? All the demands of the day, everything that we do, or social media stuff, all this meaningless fluff. It just requires us to stop focusing so much on that and starting to bring our attention to our internal world, right? So noticing how your body feels. Where do you feel tension? Do you feel nervous? What are your emotions? You can notice just your breath. I know it sounds kind of cliche, but just take your attention inwards and start to notice what's happening on the inside. And you know, the more you do this, the more you start to journey inwards. You realize that it's not a destination, right? It's something that you develop and you go deeper. And the more you do it, the more you unlock the aspects of yourself that you have been unconscious to, the aspects of yourself that you haven't noticed and that are operating under the surface, controlling how you think, feel, and act. Now, if this is something new to you, another great tool that I recommend is to journal. And journaling is just basically having a conversation with yourself. You know, it can be really hard to figure things out in our heads alone. So when you get a journal and you start writing in your journal, you can ask yourself questions. You can start to unwind, untangle issues, and you actually get a lot of self-awareness because you start to see how you're thinking about things, and you can start to actually see some of these beliefs that you have, these limiting beliefs or these concepts or these preconceptions about how you see things, how you see yourself. So when you start to shine a light on the behavior and the thoughts and how you're thinking about things, you can start to become more aware when these thoughts come up in your day. And another valuable tool, if you want to call it that, is finding other people who can help you to see things that you can't see. So this could be a friend, a trusted friend. This could be a mentor. This could be somebody like a coach who can help you to see what you can't see about yourself. And this requires you to be open and to be willing to hear things about yourself, behaviors that you might not have noticed that you do, beliefs, paradigms that you believe are true, but maybe they aren't true. So having someone to reflect back to you how you're seeing things can also help you to become more self-aware. So the second step to practically changing your life is once you begin to become more self-aware of your patterns, your unconscious patterns, the second step is figuring out where you want to go. Once you're waking up, well, now where are you going to put your attention? So having a clear vision for your future. And you can call this goal setting if you want, but really it's about zooming out and looking at your future and figuring out, well, where do I want to be? And I recommend zooming out big picture, so 10 or 20 years out, because when you have a vision of what you want to have in the future, you can start to work backwards from that. I also recommend that you take these visions and you try to divide them into different categories in your life. So for me, I like to do a personal self-expression or a spiritual category, something that's personally mine, a health category, wealth, and relationships. This is not anything new, but this is a nice way of compartmentalizing your goals into sections, into categories that you can kind of work on independent from each other. Now, a quick point about setting goals for yourself, right? When we zoom out and we look at our big picture, it's easy for us to kind of limit ourselves and think, oh, I could never have that life. I could never have that dream. What you have to also realize is that you are saying this from your current paradigm. Your paradigm is your belief about how you see the world and how you see yourself. It's a system of belief, essentially. So when you're setting goals in the future, you may think that, oh, I could never have that, but you have to realize that your current paradigm is limiting. And when you start to shift your energy, which we'll talk about in a second, what you see as possible also changes. So that's my long-winded way of saying that you shouldn't limit yourself. You should dream big here. Go to the ultimate maximum of what you really want in life, because when you align yourself energetically to the thing that you want, it is possible to achieve it or attain it, because you are basically a vibrational match to that thing. And that might sound a little woo-woo, but that's how energy works. If you align yourself to something energetically, you will move towards that and it will move towards you. So yeah, set big goals for yourself. Once you've set these long-term goals, I like to work backwards a little bit, and I like to set one-year goals. So what is something you could do this year that would start putting you in line and moving you in the direction of that goal you want to do? So that'd be the second step to this. Start with your long-term goals, big picture, and then zoom in to what you can do this year to start moving you towards that. So once you've written those things out, what I'd recommend you do is you look at these goals every single day. And for your one-year goals or your long-term goals, create a vivid picture of what that looks like. You might even include pictures, something you can look at. The idea is every day we want to align ourselves energetically to these goals. So instead of living from our past every day and feeling and thinking and behaving the same way we do every day, coming from the same energy, we want to work on shifting our energy to align to the future that we want. So I hope that makes sense. I don't think most people do this. Most people wake up and the first thing they do is they go on social media or they whatever. They're not thinking about their goals. They're not aligning themselves energetically to what they want. So something that I really recommend that you do if you want to start changing your life. By the way, I did create another video a few weeks ago about why we struggle to achieve our goals. And I do share a couple extra steps and practical tips in there. So you might want to check out that video as well. So the last piece of this, the last step of my 3-step process, is that when we attempt to change ourselves, we're inevitably going to have a lot of inner resistance, right? You have this new vision that you're excited about, that it energizes you. But your old self, it's rooted so deeply because you've been living this way for years probably, that whenever you try to change the internal, there's going to be a lot of doubt and resistance and fear that's going to come up. So the third step of this process is learning how to navigate that terrain. And the simple answer to how you do this is you practice waking up to these feelings when they arise. Waking up to them means noticing them without getting involved, telling yourself a story about them and losing yourself in this narrative about why you can't achieve this. That just means you've fallen back into your old self, your old story. So practicing waking up in your daily life means noticing how you feel when you look at your goals, when you think about what you want, what arises, what thoughts, what beliefs, energetically, what comes up for you. And can you allow it to be there? Can you notice it? And can you just allow yourself to let it go? Easier said than done, but really we need to transcend our old limiting beliefs. And the only way to transcend them is to see them from an outside perspective. So how do we cultivate this ability to wake up to ourselves each day so that we can start to transcend the old self and let go of these old patterns? Well, the first tool that I recommend, and it's pretty cliche, pretty common, but that's meditation. And yeah, a lot of people think meditation is something that they don't want to do or they can't do it. And that's probably true for them because, well, that's their belief system right now. And when I say meditation, I don't mean you need to sit down for an hour each day in monk mode or something like that. Meditation can be as simple as creating moments in the day just to check in with yourself. You know, take a minute each hour or take several minutes each hour to check in with yourself and see what you're feeling or what you're experiencing, the sensations in your body, just to take your attention away from the external world for a minute and bring it inwards and to give yourself attention. There are these meditation reminder apps that I like and I recommend, and they are like these. They chime a few times an hour, and you can set them up to ring or chime, and they're just little reminders for you to stop what you're doing, check in with yourself. So cultivating this ability, this awareness of self, is how you start to develop this. And the last little nugget here that I want to share with you is that we want to use the goals that we set in the second step here as a trigger for us to check in with ourselves. So every time you read over your goals, your 1 year goals, your big picture goals, notice what comes up for you. As I said before, this is an opportunity for you to experience the resistance and to practice letting it go. So these are all tools that you can use each day to help you begin waking up to yourself more in the day. So to conclude, to practically change your life, there's pretty much three things, a 3-step kind of model that you can use. It's pretty simple. First, you need to just develop self-awareness. You need to be able to wake up to yourself. Wake up from being unconscious, doing the same thing you did the day before, feeling and thinking the same way that you did the day before. You know, Einstein said that a problem can't be solved on the same level of consciousness that created it. So if you want to change yourself, you cannot change yourself by being yourself. You need to step outside of yourself and observe the old self. So developing self-awareness is the first piece of this. The second piece is, now that you're becoming more self-aware, you need to know what to look for, what to focus on. And this is where you start to get clear on what it is you want for your life. You do so in the areas of your health, your wealth, your relationships, and your personal life, your spiritual expression. get clear on these areas of your life so you have something to move your attention to once you've extracted it or liberated it from the unconscious patterns of being yourself. So that's step 2. And step 3 is basically just practicing daily, aligning your energy to what you want, waking up, extracting your attention out of the old self and moving it towards what you want. As you cultivate this ability to shift your energy, because when you align energetically to a reality, that becomes real to you. It opens the channel and you begin to move in that direction. When your energy is stuck being the old way, you get more of the same. So we need to shift our energy, and we do that by consciously waking up from our unconscious sleep and focusing in on the reality and the dimension of reality that we want to cultivate. So that's going to do it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. If you wanted to go deeper into these topics and you actually wanted some step-by-step help with this, I do have a coaching program that I offer. I'm only accepting a few students right now, as it's still early days for me, but if you want some help with this, I'd love it if you would contact me through my link below in the description here, and we can set up a little meeting to see if we'd be a fit to work together. So if that interests you, please go ahead and do that. Otherwise, have a great day, and thanks for watching. Subscribe to the channel if you want more content like this. I post weekly. And yeah, I'll catch you in the next video. Bye.